The home of generators are a stark reminder of the chronic power shortages that has affected businesses and households for years. The ruling All Progressives Congress pledged in its manifesto to increase supply from 3,600 megawatts to 20,000 megawatts within the first 4 years and 40,000 megawatts within 10 years to meet the demands of Nigerians. The federal government broke up its monopoly on power generation and distribution by privatizing 5 years ago, hoping to attract massive investments. Though significant progress has been made, as seen in various transmission projects that are currently ongoing across the country. Of course, transmission used to be described as the whipping boy in the value chain. That has since shifted to distribution companies, the downstream sector of the chain.
And whether or not we want to address the issue, the main problem for why there is lack of liquidity in the entire value chain is simply because the right economic model has not been used in pricing the cost of the product.
Within the year under review, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing declared customer eligibility, meaning if you consume more than 2 megawatts, you can buy power directly from the generation company.
If EcoDisco takes power and is able to dedicate it to those who can pay a slightly higher cost, which our regulators must now begin to accommodate. Because if there is a willing buyer and a willing seller, we must allow the economics to take place.
The challenge of metering, as it helps in revenue generation and liquidity in the sector, is an old tune requiring new rhythm in the provision of power, as seen in the back and forth between consumers and distribution companies. The discos say they need more money to carry out the process faster, at an average rate of 54,000 per unit for lower consumers, while the consumers say, give me power and steady power, then I will pay.
We need to introduce an hybrid retailing company that will catalyze the growth, and it will shape up the entire downstream inefficiency that we are talking of. Because the disco today, they are overwhelmed with the pressure. The pressure on them is too much.
Recently, the Nigeria Electricity Regulation Commission approved the applications of 22 private firms to become meter providers in its new meter regulatory framework, the meter asset provider. However, will this intervention be met with the protracted story of finding monies that come from loans that require bankable guarantees, and guarantees that are elusive because creditors say they can't see a cost-reflective tariffs? 30% of the meters from that policy is to be sourced locally. Others will require forex, and at what rate to the dollar? Gas is still priced in dollars, and considering that the country has more gas-fired turbines for power generation, on whose balance sheet will all these costs sit? Meanwhile, metering in itself will not solve all the problems, judging by available statistics where there has been increased theft associated with those who have been metered. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.